Hello everyone. This video is a demo for the Turtle Graph Visualiser Carropus, currently available at carropus.space. Turtle, or TTL, is a human-readable way to represent graph information digitally. It's commonly used for mapping out knowledge graphs and ontologies, but can also be used for quickly sketching out graphs in plain text. While working on ontologies, I noticed a shortage of low setup and modern tools where I could easily import, export, navigate, and edit turtle-based visualizations. So I built Carropus as a free and open source web app to help fill that gap. It's both a turtle code editor and a live graph visualizer, which updates the graph instantly from your text without you ever having to build and connect nodes by hand. The visualizer also natively simplifies some complex OWL structures like lists into cleaner, readable components. So without further ado, let me walk you through what Carropus currently looks like. Here, you can see what the interface looks like when you first open up the app. A default turtle file and graph will load. Dark mode is available if you prefer that, but I will be using light mode in this demo. If you work with ontologies graphs in another app that uses Turtle, you can import your graph in the top right here and select the file. Alternatively, you can just paste in the code from another file and hit reload to trigger computations. The layout computation is randomized, so if you're unsatisfied with the computed layout, you can try hitting reload a couple more times to see if it looks better to you. Let me show you what happens when you edit the code. So here we have a literal string. I'm going to edit that a bit. As you can see, the graph updates based on your changes when you stop typing. The code editor also supports basic shortcuts like Ctrl-Z and Ctrl-Y for undo and redo. There's also Ctrl-F for search. So right there, I've taken out a necessary semicolon, which results in a turtle syntax error. When that happens, an error message shows up bottom left, and the graph will not update until the error is resolved. So if I just... The graph visualization supports mouse scrolling, dragging, and mouse zooming for navigations. You can also use the zoom buttons on the bottom right if that is what you prefer. By default, the graph is single select and unlocked, so you can grab any one node and move it around. If you want to move multiple nodes, you can hit this select icon, and this will allow you to multi-select by drawing a selection box. Or you can hold down the Control or Command key, and that will allow you to select without the box. If you like how the graph looks and you want to avoid accidentally changing it more, hit this lock button on the bottom right. Lastly, if you ever need a reset of position, the button on the most bottom right fits the full graph back onto the navigation window. If you are copying in very large graphs and ontologies, the graph settings in the top left can be quite helpful in configuring what is shown in the graph without changing the code, so it is more readable. Carropus should be able to handle some pretty large graphs, but it might be more useful to turn off some of these entity types. Blank nodes are off by default since they can add a lot of nodes and edges in large graphs. Although if you want to see them and they add information that is useful to you, you can turn them on. And Carropus will load them in with custom visuals to help with readability. So some of these nodes, for example, are list nodes. That's an intersection node. There should be union nodes around somewhere as well. The duplicate external option is here. So if you have a lot of references to entities defined externally, like these yellow nodes here, and it's making your graph look tangled, you can choose to show them once for each mention instead of having lots of nodes point to one single node. For example, here the integer data type node is duplicated. This can help with reducing the graph complexity. There are also blacklists for more specific filtering of the nodes you want to see in the graph. These take either a full URI similar to what is there as the defaults, or you can also put in a turtle style prefixed name. So as you can see, person age is no longer connected to the integer node. When you are ready, you can choose to export the graph visualization with full resolution as an SVG or as the raw turtle file. You can also choose to export as a Carropus file, which will store all of the turtle code, node and edge positioning, and graph settings, which can then be imported with this other dropdown. By now, you've probably already noticed that I've been navigating between a few graphs using this tab bar at the top. Using the tab bar, you can create new files, you can rename them, you can move them around, and also duplicate them. If you locked a graph, the positions will remain fixed. If not, they will be reloaded. If you create a new tab without importing a file, the default graph will just be loaded again. So that is it for this demo. The source code for Carropus is available on GitHub, which is linked in the tab bar. The project is still actively under development and being updated with new features. So if you find a bug, consider submitting an issue if there isn't one already. Let me know if you find this tool useful. Thank you for watching.